Thank you for tuning in. We came here to Circle D Specialties in Houston, Texas, to the headquarters. We want to get a little shop tour with Chris. So we're going to walk inside, follow us, and let's see what they do here. How you doing?
Welcome, Justin.
Chris.
Welcome to Circle D.
So Chris is going to take us around, show us his empire that he's got here, and kind of give us a background on how things work here.
Sure.
And what the plans are with the Escalade V.
That's the Weiss vehicle, mostly stock, right?
Yeah, they're always stock until they aren't.
That's right.
All right, this is monstrous. How many square feet is this?
58,000.
58,000 square feet.
Yeah, we started off in 2,500, and then we moved to the building you probably knew us at, which was on Packard. That was 21,000, and then we purpose built this building. It was dirt beforehand. We built it in 2021, I believe, late 2020, 2021, but 58,000 square feet. Been here 3.5 years.
Yeah, I remember when they were building this, I'm like, man, is that another Walmart?
Yeah.
The Amazon distribution center? But
I mean, it pales in comparison to those, but yes, it is pretty massive from what I was used to. It is ginormous.
Yeah, I mean, you guys made use of the other one pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, this is our shipping department, so this is where all the finalized converters come. So they're packaging them now, flex plates, converters, and accessories. And our custom-made boxes and flex plate boxes with all of our padding and everything.
What models, what vehicles do you guys cover? What's your range?
I mean, that's the hashtag I started a long time ago that was kind of confusing. It hashtag through 10, which is confusing, but you know, two speed through 10 speed.
Yeah.
Virtually any power level. I mean, everything we do is performance oriented. So I mean, I would probably say starting around 400 or 500 horse, kind of, sort of, but
yeah.
4,000 in that range.
And you guys make a bunch of different options throughout those power ranges too.
Yeah.
So different power adder, because there's so many things. When I first started messing with the converter stuff, I didn't realize how in depth this really had to be.
We'll get that when we get into the actual conference room, talk about the CFD technology, but that we have multiple fader design depending on, NA, centrifugal, turbo, compound, any of those things.
So when you start with these, where does this process start?
In front of us here, we've got the TIG welding area. We have 3 to 4 TIG welders, depending on the load of what we got kicking. And they just weld blades, turbine hubs, impeller hubs.
These are hand welded?
Correct, yes.
So no robots?
We have looked at doing some automated robot on some stuff, and it's just such a tiny thing, they could never get a gun in there close enough.
Yeah, this is crazy. I've heard hand welded, furnace braze, those terms.
Yeah,
but I'll be honest, I never thought that there was actually somebody welding.
Yes, furnace brazing. So furnace brazing is just silicon bronze and run it through a conveyor, and that's kind of like solder, so it goes into all the cracks and kind of solidifies it. But you still have a weak tip, so that's when he'll go in and do the blades, which I don't see any blades done over here at this particular moment. But this is where he TIG weld the turbine hub on. You can see that weld, Chris, that's what it starts off as, and he welds it on there, and that's what your input shaft grabs. That's actually what moves your whole vehicle right there, is your turbine hub.
And you manufacture this as well, all here?
Correct.
Individually, okay. And this right here?
That would be a lockup. That's like a 264 lockup right there. So that's a 3,000 horsepower lockup setup.
I really did not believe that somebody sits there and welds that all day.
All day.
That is wild.
Yeah, you want to get in there on the camera. That's literally doing the blades right now.
That's insane.
All day.
So when it comes to quality, I mean, for real.
And we have our lead welder, David, he's certified in everything, and he's trained all the other guys. So I would very, very happy with our team. They do an exceptional job welding.
Well, what's next? Where are we going?
So this is a new addition, and it's still in the process of perfecting, but it's a robot welder back here. This is where we're actually welding like the impeller hub on. You can see it's a cobot with a Lincoln welder. Probably I don't know, an 18-month project here trying to figure this thing out.
Geez, that long?
Yeah.
But so is this gonna actually weld all the converters at some point?
Well, this would be just welding the parts together, because this is an impeller hub that popped in here. So then the robot comes and welds
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's just your impeller hub. The actual welding converter, you got to center everything, so that's over there.
Yeah.
This is just welding impeller hubs and maybe eventually turbine hubs of some degree.
Okay.
You can go this way. This would be our 300 millimeter HP series converters that we're doing. I don't know, those are 4L60, 4L80, 6L80 type things. More the budget, 500 horsepower range stuff.
But what makes you want to do the budget stuff? Is that just kind of gives it like a little extra so they don't go in, feel they don't need the billet line, or we don't have to have that there?
It's gonna be just power related. I mean, essentially, we started with this before I had the Pro Series. This is what our HP Series is called. I mean, we started off as an OE manufacturer,
yeah,
and did a couple heavy duty things, and then we started getting to this for a little bit of stall speed. This is something like a, 2800, 3200.
I asked
truck with a
because
baby
this is
cam.
where I started.
Yeah,
with
correct.
the HP Series
right.
in my truck a long time ago.
Correct.
So
we still do a lot of those.
what's he doing there?
Sanding the edge of the piston on that.
Oh, okay.
The lockup clutch. We still have a few manual machines in option, and I don't think those are ever going to go away 100%. Just doing some skin cuts or one-off projects. Manual sometimes is faster than CNC.
Gives you a little more versatility too.
Correct. This is our CNC product here. We have technically 13 CNC machines, 12 over here in complete usage. One of them is a cut machine. But you can see, like, this is the, these are 252s, 258 millimeter, stuff like that, trying to get a good glimpse of what we got going on.
So what is the CNC machine actually doing?
Well, these two are actually really on replacing manual. So this is a lot of stuff we used to do manually. Like, for instance, this is not a great example, but essentially, like, I want to cut these rivets off and replace this turbine hub. Normally we'd go over to the manual machine and cut them off and hit them out. This we can do in like 10
Pop
seconds.
it in there. Yeah. Okay.
So these two CNC machines replace probably 4 manual machines, if not 5.
And you can just run it as a whole strip. Okay.
Over here will be our 5-axis machines. We have 3 total of those. We just got our newest one in. It came in about a month ago. Still getting up the tooling and stuff on that. It hasn't quite fired up yet. But this would be 264. Yeah, so this is our 264 stator blank we have made. So it's got all the ready for the spragless or mechanical diode insert and bearing and everything, and flow through all that stuff. But it's solid right here. So then we will take it and this is a 252 version, a little bit smaller, but same idea. And we make the blades on it. So it'll be an actual airfoil profile typically. We have some 10-speed stuff over there, but we make stators for the, like, maybe technically 2 through 10. I mean, depending on the setup. I mean, majority of our stuff is going to be in probably the 2-speed power gliding turbo 400, 252, 264 stuff.
Is that where you use more of the mechanical versus the
mechanical diodes?
Yeah.
We're big believer in spragless. We do mechanical diodes, but I have found spragless to be very. I'll let Pete elaborate and
yeah, we'll definitely talk more on that. I was just a curiosity thing.
Definitely more diode. I mean, more spragless inserts.
Is that like a pre-cut deal? Or?
That's probably a fuck up.
Is it?
Yeah. That was the tooling issue. Something got off center.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's not supposed to be.
I was like, man, that looks.
Yeah. That can do some damage, right?
Yeah. You never know. That could be the new thing.
Yeah. Slice and dice. So that's our cut area. This is where we like all the cores that come in. We have to cut them open to be able to get some of the OE parts out of it to reuse, refurbish. That's my original Herco there that I started working on 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably around there. Actually, almost 20 years ago. So it was like 2007, I think.
That's a little older than that,
yeah,
isn't
2007, I think is what year that is when I got it. But yeah, that's what I used to do all the billet fronts on myself, working the night shift. And then that's now turned into a cut machine.
Yeah, over the years, I've heard a lot of the stories, you know, speaking with Dave and all that. Yeah. So
we can show this one off, our new CNC.
This thing's only, what, a few months old?
Yeah, it arrived basically late, right? Basically, it was like Christmas Eve, I think, type deal, or right after Christmas.
Nice
right
present.
There it said, yeah, it was. This is our new one. Hasn't produced anything yet. It just looks pretty.
It does a good job at that, though.
But it's got a high RPM spindle, so it'll be a little bit better cutting aluminum and stuff like that. High RPM that works better.
And it runs all the tooling through here.
Yeah, holds 60 tools at a time. So
that's something I don't see here, and that I've seen in some other shops. You know, when they run like the pallet systems. Do you run that, or?
Our stuff is so small, and we've talked about doing more of an automated approach, lights out, deal with pallets. we're
well,
not
like
there
when I
yet,
go to the
but
toolies, I saw he's
Yeah.
got a lot of the pallet stuff. So he like sets up, I think, 12 pallets, right?
we need to get there, just not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're growing pretty well as it is. So.
Well, yeah, but that's definitely in the works there. You can see like over here, this will be our billet fronts, starting off from a forging to final product, roughly. He's deburring right there. That's Daniel. So 8L90 multi 265 is what that one is. I don't think much is, yeah, the inside has been turned. You can see for our clutch pack, deep groove ball bearing. So it hasn't hit the lathe yet. After that, you're going to be coming out like that, engraving.
Okay. So, and you do all this engraving in the machine, right?
Correct.
Everything all in one pass.
Correct.
I love the torque spec on them.
Yeah.
That's a nice touch.
Avoid a lot of phone calls. We've had that on our bolt together too for all that. Because
Yeah.
you can get the torque to halves together and then, all that stuff. Bolt size, people are like, what bolt size is this? It's all written on there. So here's the Reid area. We acquired Reid in November of 23. Moved it in March of 24 in-house. They were distribution in California. All manufacturing is remaining the same. Same foundries, same machine shop doing all the stuff there. So just continuous improvement on that, but no changes planned. Big changes, that is.
And this is cases for
Powerglide, there's two different versions. Well, the basic is Powerglide 400 and 4L80. That's the three
Okay.
cases they make. There's different versions of those.
right, different power level, different
Right.
safety ratings.
And bell housing to fit, I forget how many bell housings we have, but bell housing bolt onto that and fit multiple,
Platforms.
GM,
Different.
Ford, Dodge.
So Reid was just basically kind of just bringing everything together, right?
Correct. Yeah, they manufactured, they designed everything, but they manufactured everything in-house. So we're using that same approach over here.
Okay.
And I don't have the machinery to necessitate this to actually machine it in-house. It's very large machinery.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Is this all one piece cast?
The PG,
Like
that's
basically
a
they just
PG,
cast the whole deal.
that's a
and-
PG 1500, so that is a one-piece case. That's
Okay.
if you're going with the GM, it's a little bit stronger and easier, and you save a couple $100 because we need to bolt on bell housing. You do it too. So the
Right.
PG 1500 would be just like this, then you do bolt on bell housing. So you can duplicate this with a PG 2000. But the
Okay.
PG 1500 is bell only. It does have the LS,
LS pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So you get them just like this, basically?
Correct. We go through QC, check them, making sure.
I was gonna say
a couple
that's something I've
dimensions, things
noticed
like that.
at every station I see. There's always one guy that's making sure that everything's
Correct.
down to fine grinding, little detail
Yeah.
stuff, which makes a big difference, obviously.
We can head over here for our
Actual
all
assembly.
the parts come over here. So this is kind of like our 252, 264 bench. We get set up over here. This is the bench I do a lot of prototypes on. Got some of my drawings, sketches.
Is this isn't from the same old shop, is it? You guys changed this out?
The benches?
Yeah, 'cause you had a bench that looked just
It could
like
be.
this.
And we
Yeah.
moved a lot of stuff over.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the metal pegboard, which we love.
I just remembered it.
Yeah.
Having it was in that smaller area
Mhm.
that you'd walk into. But so this is when you're just testing
Yeah.
different things,
Correct.
right?
This is we use the 3D printer. That's a 10-speed project we're working on there.
Don't
That
look
we
too
3D
hard.
print everything. Yeah, don't zoom in too much on that. And then the majority of jobs that come over here for Edwin to build. He's working on it. Looks like a 6L50 there and an 8 HP.
So basically, he's stacking all the components up,
Correct.
checking the clearances, getting it ready, and then from here it goes to balancing and welding.
You can go over here for welding. You can kind of sneak in here, but we have two welders, TCRS, kind of the industry standard on that.
Okay.
Welded over here, and then it goes to the rest of the quality control checks.
So basically, pressure testing, things like
Correct.
that. Okay.
Height, in play, balance, pressure check.
Yeah. And nothing worse than a leaky or wobbly converter.
Yes, those are not good calls. So that would be the pressure test right there. Once you get another TCRS system, in play, height gauge, he's doing run out, balance, and then it gets our signature paint job over here in our paint booth.
Looks.
Black and gray. That's the actual balancer there.
It looks like a tire balancer.
That's pretty much what it is.
Before converter.
I think they have tweaked it a little bit more, but the front of the original balancers from probably 20, 30 years ago were literally a tire balancer turned sideways. Or not turned sideways, turned, you know.
Right. That's funny that it looks just like that.
Very similar concept.
Why do you go with the color that you use? Is there a reason behind that?
My dad started the company in the 80s, 1984 to be precise, and he just did a gray converter. That was his color. So when we did a performance converter, we painted them black. And then after kind of a couple months of that, or a year or whatever, I would see online, you couldn't tell black converters. Like, well, is that a Circle D converter? I can't tell. So we started adding the gray stripe to it. And then we came out with our billet parts, we clear coated it, hence the color, which is very easy to see a Circle D converter online because it's a very, you know, it's not just a red converter or a black converter or a blue converter. It's a very signature color. Kind of by accident. It wasn't really the goal to make it identifiable, it just I thought it looked good.
I mean, it helps though.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've looked in there to see if there's a converter. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even know if that's aftermarket or not. But the clear coat, is that something that you share?
Yeah,
your clear coat changes colors.
A little bit.
Well, I've learned that, and that's how you know if they've overheated it.
Well, the clear coat doesn't.
I don't know if that's on
the metal itself will as well. You start seeing 500-600 degrees in the converter, the front cover will start kind of turning color, a little bit bronzy.
I think on the truck one, I think by the time I got, if I saw like 300 flash on my temp, it would be yellow. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, it
wasn't on purpose, but it is an indicator.
It works really well for that. Well, I've noticed you guys have moved a lot into the bolt-on stuff.
Bolt together.
Bolt together, sorry, that's what I meant.
Correct.
Is there a reason for it, or you just a serviceability? Or?
I mean, that's just basically for serviceability and stator changes at the track or in your garage for simple use. We'll have to ship it back, us cut it open, change the stator. You know, I mean, we can send somebody a bolt together converter and 1 or 2 different extra stators depending on the track condition or whatever we're testing.
Right.
And it's very, very easy for them to swap out.
Is this just inventory for?
Yeah. I mean, this is like 8090, 8HP70 stuff. We have our bearings, like this is our stator shelf. We have all of our A's, B's, C's, and D stators depending on the diameter, 245, 258, 265, and then each one of those can have a 4L80, 6L80, so they can have a numerous options of stators for us to pick from. So we try to stock them up and we just grab them as needed.
What happens when you build all these up and then you decide to change your design 6 months later?
These are pretty set, but yeah, that's a definite thing.
I was gonna say, because every time I know every like 6 months that I would talk with Brady, he's like, well, we're doing something different.
Yeah.
I'm like, I relate it kind of like the tuning world. They're like, oh, well, they stole your file. I'm like, yeah, that's what I did 6 months ago.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now.
So
this is a new acquisition we have. Yeah, that's our core values.
What is this?
CMM, coordinate measuring machine, extremely accurate machine that we can go and do QC tests with. It's something we started doing towards the end of last year. We just got this machine probably 6 months ago. And basically we're bringing parts in and can QC them into the tenths. Very, very, very accurate. So either for outsourcing something or if it's made in-house, we can still bring it in here, run a program on it and see if it meets specs.
And so you're gonna use this, in what manner are you gonna plan to use this? Because obviously this isn't something you could run everything through, right?
Well, you do a certain percentage of them to kind of catch, run 5% of parts through, and you have, that gets in the math side of things. They have a whole formula for that to see. But we're gonna do more spot checks on stuff just to try to eliminate more stuff that gets out the door. And the pilot doesn't fit, or this is too small, or something.
Right.
Because we manufacture things in volume. Try to be as quality conscious as possible, but we are human.
And when scaling up,
yes,
quality control becomes super critical. That's something we see in a lot of businesses. And some businesses, they just don't want to do the quality control. And
yeah, this is a pretty new. I'm gonna shut this door. We go this way. So that we'll roll over to here, kind of our R&D room over here. This is where we have Carrie, one of our engineers. She does the CFD on the computer down there, designs the stators. We have a 3D printer, and then that's a laser scanning arm there to actually, looking at curves of products and things like that to be able to use SolidWorks to draw them out.
So basically, this is you doing the 3D printing deal.
Mm-hmm. That's a Mark Forge printer, much better, very easy to use. That was the first one we tried, which we still kept, but hardly ever used it. It's a bigger plat, so you can print something bigger.
Right.
But it is not user friendly. Whereas the Mark Forge is pretty much set it and forget it. Yeah. Send it to file.
Much tighter tolerance.
Takes 48 hours to roll, no problem. Come back in 48 hours, it's just done.
It's a hell of a computer. Guess when you need the processing power.
Yeah. It's a couple years old now, but at the time it was probably one of the fastest CFD computers because we actually, and this isn't on the video, but we were running some numbers, something that used to take us 30 minutes, and we got it down to, I don't know, 7 minutes. I'm maybe making up numbers. And we sent it to the company, asked them for some tweaks on some stuff, and it's like, we've never seen anybody hit 7 minutes. What did you build?
Yeah.
I don't know, just the latest and greatest. You know, it's like, it's not rocket science.
Yeah, I think people underestimate how much efficiency you can have by just having the right equipment. But I'm fighting that right now with this editing. Started having to use my tuning laptop.
So we can kind of did some pretty nice little metal prints here throughout the thing that pop some color in the hallways. Some of them are CFD driven. That's the flow inside of the converter. Some stators before the ring gets on. That's kind of showing the airflow profile. And then our OG logo from my dad back in the 80s. That's the original sign he had on the building. We took it down and it's patinaed, but I clear coated it. We're hoping it doesn't get any worse, but that's a very natural.
Oh, this is the actual sign.
Correct.
Okay, it almost looked like it was like reprinted, but no.
That's the OG.
That's so cool.
And then we have our break room.
This
Yeah, that's called a, I can't remember the board, but it's like an old school rail thing that twists and turns.
Oh, just so you know where
right now it's on
what time
sports
it is
scores or
everywhere.
some degree of Texans or something like that.
Sports scores?
Yeah.
Can you tell that I don't watch sports enough that I didn't know that?
Yeah. Well, technically that's the rankings, but yeah, AFC South.
Yeah, I remember seeing this. So this is just for all your employees just
Correct.
to enjoy their life a little bit. It's something else a lot of people don't think about.
Pop a shot.
Let's see what you got.
I do.
Come on, you got to score one.
one. You make it, I make it.
All right, where are we standing from?
I would say right here.
Right here. I'm bad at this. Wendy beats me every time. Score!
Oh, I missed.
Got him. It's the only time I've ever beat anybody in basketball.